at the forefront of all this talk, we mentioned it for a second, it's the $23 million wimp who's in Florida acting like he's trying to come back, Joe Mauer. And people listening to this, you can say my take right now is hindsight, but I'm telling you last year, we talked about this so many times before we did this. For $20 million a year, you move him, and you move him fast. You get everything you can for him. $20 million for Albert Pujols all day long, every day. Maybe for A-Rod. And after that...
Boy, that's tough.
Especially being a small market team, and you can break down and say, no team with 35% of their payroll on one guy's ever won before. I don't care about the percentage breakdown. I'm saying $23 million for a 300 singles hitter is way too much money.
Well, not only does that money change a team, I think it changes the player too. Do you ever think of that aspect?
Right.
It might change the player, but even if you do rewind, let's rewind back to late March, early April when we were starting the season. When Twins broke training camp, I didn't feel like, it seemed like there's always a story where somebody's missing time or somebody was getting injured. It didn't seem like they all had that cohesiveness, and now I think it's affecting them. If you start out the season going back to the first series of the year with Toronto and then New York, we lost against Toronto, I believe. Either we lost 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4?
3 out of 4, yeah.
3 out of 4 against Toronto.
2 out of 3 of the Yankees.
2 out of 3 of the Yankees, and we probably shouldn't have won that third game. And we also lost our second baseman that was supposed to be here for the future.
Right. Nishioka, we've had so many injuries, we don't even talk about Nishioka until you bring that up. And start of the year, very, very small sample, only a few games, but he looked uncomfortable. He looked like he was rushed over his head. And then, of course, you pair him with Alexi Casilla. Not a lot of stability bringing a new guy in from another country. Never played in Major League Baseball before. Obviously, in Japan, he was their Joe Mauer, their leading hitter. He won the batting title there last year. But maybe you should have had some more stability when you bring that guy in. You could tell he was nervous, and Alexi Casilla ain't settling himself down. He sure is not going to settle down the guy next to him.
And I think he's a different player 5 games in the season and 40 or 50 games in the season where we are now.
Right.
Obviously, anybody is. But we haven't had that team to get... Mauer's been out. Morneau's probably still recovering from being off last season and being a little bit gun-shy about that.
Yeah, getting in the box,
syndrome.
getting set. Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Our second baseman's gone.
Right. Shortstop, we have Plouffe in there now. Yep.
Yeah. Our third baseman, Valencia's...
He's the one piece that's sort of been stable, but still struggling. And I mean, as we go to press right here, I can pull this out and tell you, Danny Valencia is hitting a whopping 219. 219, folks. And that puts him in the upper half of
And I was going to say, for the Twins, it's a respectable 219. And if you can name 3 outfielders that we had together for more than a series,
right,
more power to you. Delman Young's been out.
Yeah. Well, you bring up Rene Tassoni. Before he stepped on the field, I'd never heard of the guy. I'm not even going to make it. I like to pretend I know a lot about sports. Never heard of the guy.
Yeah, but it's nice to see some of the guys come up, like Ben Revere, maybe come up and get some time. Guys you've heard about, guys we drafted high, finally paying some dividends.
Luke Hughes, Plouffe, getting a little bit of experience. Yep.
But what isn't fair to them, maybe isn't fair to the team or the fans, we're forcing them into this because we don't have anybody else.
Right, and unfortunately, you need Plouffe to carry you. You need Revere. They can't come in and bat 9th in a lineup full of Tomies, Delman Youngs, Kadires, Morneaus, Mauers. They're coming in batting 2nd, batting 5th, places that you wouldn't even probably put Kadire nowadays. But you're asking a lot of less experienced guys to do the job.
We might be talking about these guys 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. All of a sudden we got a first baseman coming up that we might just see a little bit this year, but all of a sudden he's pushing Morneau out.
Right.
Or we might get a third baseman coming up, or a left fielder, someone that's pushing Jock Jones, Doug Minkiewicz.
Right.
Go all the way back to Corey Koski. People came in to push those other players out, and we got really comfortable with those nice, cute players, and they won games for us.
Right.
Now we might have to start.
Yeah, we're not a cute. You touched on it right to me. We're not a cute team anymore.
But we were for a long time. We had our cute little players, our cute little winning streaks.
We had our cute farm system, like you say, push it.
Stop.
But where's the farm system now? Where's that depth that's going to be the next wave to push these guys? I don't think it's there right now.
It's not because we've been good and we've been drafting later on.
Right.
I mean, when you start...
Yeah, when you're picking number 1, getting Joe Mauers, you're picking top 5, getting Michael Kadires.
Right. Baseball draft isn't like the NFL draft, basketball draft, even the hockey draft. It's different.
And you can miss early in the baseball draft. It happens.
Probably recover.
Right. Brian Taylor. I mean, look at the Yankees. I mean, he was supposed to be the greatest coming of everything. Yep. They missed on him. I don't think the Yankees have really struggled since missing on Brian Taylor.
I think they recovered fine, but... it's a different story with them. But when you draft in the top 10 and actually hit on a few players,
Right.
it makes a big difference when you draft in the bottom 10.
Yes,
Obviously,
absolutely.
and we've been doing that for the last 10 years or so. It makes a difference.
Yeah, winning,
You know?
there's a cost to winning. Now, should it deplete your entire system?
No.
No, we should have 3 or 4 guys where you
Right.
go to the next line. Like the Brewers, it seems like the Brewers are always bringing up a guy lately where, like, wow, this guy's really good. He's really
Yeah.
ready to step in.
And
And
they
that's
just-
how we used to be.
And they just work out.
Right, that's
Well,
how we
the
used to
Packers.
be.
I mean, it's not every year you can draft a Michael Restovich. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Or when you get a chance to train for Vladimir Guerrero, him and Jock Jones, you back off because you don't want to give away the next Harmon Killebrew.
Or Marty Cordova.
And I bring up Harmon Killebrew in a very somber way. Obviously, Harmon passed away. One of the, if not the greatest Twin, arguably top 3 or 4. Him and Kirby Puckett, when you think of Twins, Tony Oliva, there's the face of the franchise. And a really, really sad day for Twins fans with this happening. And to look at it in a positive way, Twins have responded.
Yeah.
3 straight wins since the news. You hate to have to use that as a rallying cry because in the past, you look at when Corey Stringer died with the Vikings, they tried to rally around him, everything fell apart. So you don't, and I know they're removed from Killebrew, it wasn't like he was their teammate, but still very involved with the Twins, even up, till he decided not to take the cancer treatment anymore. It was always in spring training. A lot of these guys know Harmon, a lot of these guys respected Harmon.
Well, very influential to some of the Twins players, and very influential to some people around here still to this day, being 74 years old, unfortunately passing away. But in my book, I think not only the greatest Twin inside and outside of baseball, from what I hear, but one of the most respected and well-known players in all of baseball history.
Well, think about it. The guy's lived in Arizona for a number of years, and still, you could swear the guy lived across the street from the stadium.
Well, you think
because everyone, and he called on the radio this week, if you're listening to K-Fan, it was Harmon Killebrew's story after Harmon Killebrew's story, and not one person had the minutest bad thing to say about the guy. That speaks to the character. It speaks to the history of the Twins as well.
And no matter how good the guy is, sometimes you still hear stories about Kirby Puckett going out late at night and maybe doing a few questionable things.
Right.
Saying and acting in a certain way. You never hear that about Harmon Killebrew. And you swear, even though he did live in Arizona, he probably lived in Edina. You know what I mean? Everybody did have a story about him. Well, that is true.
Right. The loss of a great, great Twin, and obviously I've never met the guy personally, but from what it sounds, a pretty good human being.
Yeah.
And, hopefully just everything went peaceful, and it was, as tough as the time is, hopefully you remember the good things about the man, and hopefully his legacy will live on forever with the Twins organization at least.
And at least today, in the last couple of days, we've had a chance to celebrate his life and his legacy. So that was a good honor for him too.
Right. So we're going to end the Twins talk thinking about Harmon and hoping the best for his family, hoping they're dealing with a tough time. Because it was, even though the end's coming, my mom also died of cancer. The end's coming. The end comes pretty sudden. And hopefully you folks are dealing with that all right. All Twins fans, Harmon fans, anyone's met the guy, our warmest wishes and best regards to all of you. So that's it for the Twins talk right now. Sports Underground, we're going to step away for a minute, kind of compose ourselves over talking about Harmon, and we're going to be back with some Wild and Timberwolves talk right after this.